master's test is in 2 weeks. We'll go through the grid. We've done this 1,000 times. Ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
That's not good enough.
If you haven't spent every waking minute preparing for this test.
This has always been Abby's dream.
We are back with Mark Ward and Shannon. Shannon, remind me.
Meehan.
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 Shannon Meehan.
Like me and you.
We're back. And guys, we left off at the dramatic juncture where, Mark, you were walking down the highway with one sock and without recollection. Shannon, you were in the basement crying. Both had a nervous breakdown, not necessarily at the same time. This may have been separate occasions. And this was couched in the framework of Mark's philosophy, which is a very beautiful Zen philosophy, that there's not necessarily any meaning in the fruit of our actions or anything of lasting consequences other than great effort and sincerity in which we approach our actions. So putting the emphasis on the doing more than the done, kind of a thing. And Shannon, you were talking about acting as a craft of empathy.
Mm-hmm.
So the art of acting as the practice or the craft of empathy and living action. And those are both beautiful philosophies and ways to live. And I was trying to get at the meaning of life. So that was part one.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about the meaning of your movie. Shannon, you had played the lead, and Mark, you had written and directed and edited it. And if you could have, you might have starred in it as well. And put no, not that. Okay. But you gave it everything you had. You both
Not
did.
clearly see. I belong on the other side of the camera.
Oh, come on now. So
I don't know. Look at us. You look like the presentable one.
oh, come on. You're both very decent looking, presentable people, and dare say handsome. And it's all beauties in the eye of the beholder, right? Kind of thing.
I'll take
So
decent. I'll take
what's
decent.
that?
I'll excitedly take decent.
There you go. There you go. Decent. My dad
I am
used to say, any man as better looking or as good looking as a dog is already handsome. I never really got that because I thought dogs are really beautiful creatures. So I was just like, that's competitive. Yeah, it was a little high bar for me. So anyway, did I summarize well? Is there anything that we missed that you guys might want to add?
Geez, I feel like we were just damping it. You said everything so damn well. I'm sure better than we said.
No, not true again, but I appreciate your humility. But I did summarize. I summarized well, I have to kind of do that. And uh I guess now to put it on you after my summary, the meaning in terms of here we are, here's a sincere character in the film who is just trying to succeed. And there were I kind of spun it in the direction of self-worth, and Shannon didn't really see that in terms of when you played the character out. You really felt like she just wanted this thing. There was just passion behind it. Mark clearly has a lot of passion behind anything he does. So I guess since we've spoken, and have you had any further reflections on how the film, with that character and with the setup and just this earnest, sincere desire to prove oneself, whether it's for oneself, like you were saying, Shannon, or because of some deficit suffered at some point in our time, in our previous life, where does that leave us? Is it the pursuit? Is it the success in the pursuit? Where from your life experience and trying to overcome your own personal demons, um, and relating to this film and the arc, how does it register in your own life and how you've been able to succeed in remaining engaged in life?
So I don't know if it's just from hearing you talk or some things that have been going on. You opened up by talking about me having a nervous breakdown, ending up on the side of the parkway practically, Shannon having one on camera, and I actually have had two more since Thanksgiving weekend.
Oh, geez.
I had one on Thanksgiving weekend. I'm currently in PT for it, and I've got my K tape on. Suffered some injuries. And then I had another one that involved a psychotic break slash dissociative episode. Uh, the life of an artist is glamorous. And but I don't know if it had anything to do with that, and more so with what you've just said, but I don't, I can't now help but think of Masters as a tragedy because they are incapable. Both characters, Shannon's and her mentor, the Master, are incapable of finding meaning outside of themselves. Without this goal, without this white whale,
Yeah.
they seem troubled by that. And I I am not excused from that. I have trouble finding meaning without external results-based validation. I feel worthless. Without this, I feel worthless. I can sit in stillness. I do sit in quiet, calm environments frequently. In my mornings, I'm outside, I'm journaling, I've got my coffee, I'm just listening to the birds. I don't touch my phone. As often as I can, I sit in stillness. But if I'm not doing what I'm doing, I feel pretty worthless. I feel like I'm not contributing. I feel like I'm capable and I'm wasting it. It's like a billionaire who can solve the homeless crisis. It's like someone with unlimited resources who could feed the literal planet and doesn't. I feel like I have capabilities, and if I'm not using them, there's a responsibility that comes with craft, with skill. I'm not going to call it talent because I've worked hard to learn how to do everything I do. It's a skill, it's a craft, one that you start really bad at. And I feel like if I'm not doing that, it's it's irresponsible. It's an irresponsibility to not use whatever gifts I might have to hopefully change not even one life, but one person's day. Just throw my little pebble into that lake and hope it ripples out. And in that sense, I'd say that Masters is indeed a tragedy of people who are incapable of finding worth not outside themselves. I'm gonna go back to drinking.
Oh, I love that. Oh, Mark, we should, maybe I really do. Cheers, man. I my uh guy I developed code with does that with me. He's in Pakistan, so but he's drinking milkshakes. Anyway,
Milkshakes?
yeah, protein milkshakes.
Oh, I thought you meant like he made his own milkshakes
He
with ice
does.
and stuff.
Yeah,
And he just sits, does he have the cups? Like the,
they're able to do it remotely because he has a straw and his straw
oh
reaches
my
all the
God.
way across the room.
Right.
Your milkshake.
Mark, I just want to honor what you said. I think it's very true, very real, very brave, very relatable. And just the depth and the honesty is, I thank you for that. I'm sorry. You know, I recently read um Young, and he wrote something to the effect of no enhancement in awareness, no level up in our awareness can be had without pain and suffering. Um, and there's a lot of truth to that. Um, Shannon, you're shaking your head. Shannon, what's your take on I do find Masters to be a tragedy as well, Mark. And what's your take on, what Mark just said or your own relationship to self-worth?
Um, I mean, for me, like going back to, it's there's that you don't level up without pain and suffering. I go back to the scene in the laundry room where Abby just loses her shit and she's like, I just want this to be over. Like it's so hard. I just want it to be over. And the question is, when you hit that moment, what do you do? Like, do you quit? Because that's what you want. You want it to be done. You just don't want to do it anymore. Are you going to quit, or are you going to let yourself have that moment where you're a human and you break down because you're under all of this stress and pressure and you think you're supposed to be a certain way, or you owe people certain things or whatever else? You hit that moment. Do you take it in and say, okay, I'm going to let myself feel this moment and then I'm going to keep going? Or do you take that hit and you just don't get up again?
Um, well, what do you do, Shannon? What have
I
you
get up.
done?
I get up eventually.
Yeah, yeah,
Sometimes I just sit there for a while though.
yeah,
I'm like, that one hurt. I'm gonna
yeah,
stay on the ground
yeah,
a
yeah,
little bit,
yeah.
you know?
Yes, do,
Yeah.
do. I was lay me down and bleed a while, but I will rise again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm like, I'm very hard to kill. That doesn't mean I'm very hard to knock down.
yeah,
See,
yeah.
that's a healthy way to do it. A well-adjusted individual would tear through that ribbon at the end of the marathon and celebrate a job well done. But I feel like Masters is about, and ultimately a reflection of ourselves. I'd probably speak for myself between the two of us in that as soon as you cross that finish line for the marathon, that first step of your foot landing on the other side of the finish line is the first step of the next marathon. It's not good, man.
Yeah.
Mm,
And I think if I were able to adjust my perspective on that, maybe I'd stop having nervous breakdowns. Oh, yeah. So for some fun continuity, since the last episode, part one, on election day, I literally got my first white hairs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you'll
Yeah.
get used to those. I mean, really? Those are your first?
Those are my
Wow.
first. They just happened literally overnight.
Oh, yeah. Looks good, man.
That's what I keep hearing. So, I'm gonna listen to other people on this one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wear it with pride.
yeah.
Cheers.
Um, you know, um, I guess I'll just share, my battle with self-worth in terms of just relatability and having another perspective. Um, I was recently said to some folk on a group call that we do once a week, outside of this kind of a satsang thing, and which is a spiritual Buddhist community of, it's not necessarily Buddhist, but that's a satsang is a, I don't know, Sanskrit or word or something along those lines for spiritual community. Anyway, I was saying that I at once felt like a crusader as a younger person. I was crusading, and it was very important, the crusade that I was on, and I did it with great relish and confidence, and felt empowered by it and felt a calling to it. And then pretty much, the horse was ridden too hard and the legs broke off, and I got hurt. Um, and I didn't want to be a crusader anymore at some point. That stopped, and that was a hard thing to give up because I think that propped me up. I was on that horse, but horse horse died. Um, and so then, maybe what are you left to do? Do you run? You use your own legs, and at some point, um, you stop. And I think now, you know, in my journey of self-worth, I'm not necessarily interested in being seen as a champion or a hero or even seeing myself as one. Um, I'm more interested in just serving, wherever I am. And if it's cutting up fruit and arranging it in a pretty shape so that my 6-year-old will eat it,
Yeah.
then that works. And if it's, doing a show and building a digital social media application that might change discovery process, well, that's fine. But if that doesn't work, that's okay too. And whatever will be. And that's was only, was I able to come to that sort of resolution and peace. And I think it does go back to service. So the worth that I find in myself is being able to serve and changing, if any change for the positive is, you know before my pursuit was to change the world and fix that, and now it's to fix me and to grow within this, space I occupy. So do you guys have any feelings around that?
Have you found acts of service to be healing towards your horse?
That's a good question. Does it heal the horse? Well, I think the horse to me was like this chariot, right? It was like that was my vehicle of like my pedestal. And, I'd like to ride it fast. And I guess, sometimes I was the horse. Sometimes the thing I was doing was the horse, was that vehicle that conveyed me to the goal. So I don't know if now it's like I don't want to ride that fast. Like I don't want to, I need my vehicle now is this body and the feelings that go on with it, inside of it, and using service as a way to connect to God, and whatever God means, that union with something that is a transcendent quality. That's what I mean by that. So and service is, if I'm not in union, service is kind of uh
False.
what's that?
False.
False? Oh, well, no, I just meant to say, like I would love to be in union with God like all the time. Like just boom, like I'm in like whatever I'm doing. And then love. Like I would love to be in a state of love. Like just like I love service. Here you go,
Yeah.
kind of just beautiful, love everything. And I can't do that. I'm not in that capacity. I think it's possible for humans to get to that sort of level. Very rare, but possible with great work and practice, Mark, and diligence and application and all those things, and even discipline, consistency. But I think the ego that I still have needs self-worth. And so that ego does it through service. Like I haven't lost the ego, which I'd like to ditch, but the next best thing is attaching to something that's um, less grandiose.
Well, it's interesting that you described it as transcendent because everything you were saying was making me think of the quote by Emerson where he says, if even one life has breathed easier because of you, that is to have lived a successful life.
Hmm.
Like you don't have to be the hero, you don't have to be the fanfare, but you do the little bit that you can for one person. You just made that person's life better.
What's that Jewish saying too? You save one life and you save the world entire.
Oh,
Like
yes.
Constant Gardner, where he's like, you can't save them all. She goes, no, but I can save this one.
It's a starfish story. You can't throw them all back, but
Or
doesn't
like
matter.
driving on the
Matters to that
parkway
one.
in Jersey, where like if we all go 80, they can't pull us all over. Like, you know, yeah.
I think he touched it with discipline, man, because service service can absolutely be healing, but it's funny that service is what caused me to have my recent slew of breakdowns. Um, we recently took in a an unhoused person and we're trying to help them out. And we did. And doing the right thing, doing the right thing is it's not really a question, it's barely a choice. If you can help, you help. If you've got the means, you do it. That's the way I was raised, and I was raised in a house that took people in that needed it. My father was a missionary, and if anyone needed a place, we took them in.
Wow.
Did likewise. Um, he might have had a little bit more experience and training with it, but while we were doing that, we found some other people that needed help, two more, and then a third one. And at some points, there were four people, seven people total in a 912 square foot house. And anyone who is an artist, and I don't just mean that in the fine arts. In my opinion, if you apply passion to any craft, be it stock trading to cooking to basketball, if you apply passion, it is then an art. And any artist knows the truth that you don't have an office. The office is your brain. The office is your soul. You're always at work. You're always thinking about it. If you have a passion that reflects outward into an art, whatever craft it may be, it's always there. And in trying to help all these people, I just, man, that inner citadel came crumbling down. I did not have space. I did not have time. I did not have quiet. I had no focus, and it was just all gone, all just because we were trying to help. And it was discipline that we lacked. It was boundaries and it was balance. And again, I guess that reflects back to masters, people who have a severe lack of balance
Mm,
in their lives.
You
mm,
can't pour from an empty cup.
mm. Yeah. It's you know, the uh thank you.
It sucks too because it kind of turned me off. I mean, I had to shut myself out and off from everyone, from helping anybody,
Mm, mhm,
just to repair, just to
mhm.
allow myself to enter this state of convalescence. And it's a shame. I wish I didn't have to do that, but I did. And
And that's human and it's understandable and like Shannon said, you can't pour from an empty cup and you know the goes back to the idea of, you know, rescuing and the hero and the truth in, you know, the greatest thing you can do for me is to work on yourself and the greatest thing I can do for you is to work on myself.
I say that to people all the time, but I cannot practice that. I cannot practice that.
Yeah, you're not good at it.
I'm bad at it.
You are bad at it, yeah.
I'm very bad at it.
Well, we got to find out why. And you know, there's a relationship there to be had with yourself. And in a lot of contexts, you know, I think we all have to learn how to be friends to ourselves, right? Um,
Mm.
and there's a sacred being in us that we have to befriend. And I think you know, Mark, I'll just say to you, you know, you owe it all that intensity and passion you have to befriend the source of that passion and within yourself. You know, it's
It
a
just doesn't make
suggestion.
sense. It doesn't make sense. I think I'm fucking awesome, but I'm my own worst enemy. No one beats the shit out of me more than me.
Well,
I dig what I do. I love every second of it, but goddamn, am I kicking my table's legs out from under me?
Well, there's more to you than you know, maybe you recognize.
Is there?
Shannon, tell him.
Mm, I've tried
Yeah.
many times.
Well, you're a good friend, Shannon, and
I'm like, dude, you need to chill. Like,
that's yeah.
Telling
I'm
me
like,
to chill is
I'm
a
like,
terrible thing. I'm the chill one.
you
You're the frantic, frazzled, frayed end of a human being.
generally, yes. In this capacity, no.
I'm the even, level-headed, disciplined, well-tempered one of us.
Which of us has nervous breakdowns where we lose touch with reality? And which of us has nervous breakdowns where we just cry uncontrollably and can't eat?
See, I am perfectly even till there's just a sudden atomic explosion, but you are just this constantly emitting reactor. You are a
I've
nuclear
embraced
reactor
my
that just
chaos
pulses
energy.
through life. I'll mushroom cloud every once in a while, but sparingly. You're a live wire, bro.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I see is two people have a lot to teach and learn from each other, and that makes for a great creative and personal friendship.
Yeah.
Guys,
I embrace my chaos energy, man. I'm like, yeah, it's a mess. I'm a mess. You know what else is a mess? A Jackson Pollock painting. Do you know how much those things sell for? Going back to your self-worth, I'm not any less valuable because I'm a walking reactor.
where do you cultivate your self-worth, Shannon?
I don't know. I believe in human rights and I'm a human, so I'm included. I also believe that we're all just a small piece of the universe experiencing itself.
Mm.
So maybe the part of existing that the universe is experiencing through me is how do you function when you're like a walking ball of chaos? How do you figure out how to do that? That's a valuable thing to do.
I think that's awesome.
And then when someone else is a mess, I can be like, it's all right, man, me too. It's okay. You can be that way. You don't have to hold everything all together all the time, make it perfect, and everything has to look nice and everything has to be social media worthy and shit. Nah, dude, you're a human being. It's gonna be a mess. I've never met a single human being that on some level is not a disaster. So if I fly my freak flag high, maybe it gives someone else the courage to be like, oh, I'm not the only one.
Yeah,
I can be the way that I am, and that's okay.
yeah, feel that definitely. Any parting words
Uh,
for the kids out there?
we've got some more movies in the works. When we do, can we do this again?
Hell yeah, let's do this. Absolutely, guys.
Oh, please do. Please, please. And thank you. Thank you for everything you do. I didn't watch our part one because I can't stand seeing myself or hearing myself, but I watched other people's episodes and you do good work, man. You do excellent work.
This is very kind. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it, man. I put passion into it.
You can tell.
Also, you have interesting answers to things. It'd be interesting to see someone interview you.
Was just thinking that.
Aw, thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Well, who knows? Maybe you guys will do it.
I'll interview you.
Hell yeah. Same. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you some weird questions though.
Oh, cool. All right. Yeah, we'll raise my freak flag.
Yes.
Do you have when's your next film coming out?
I have so all these little short films that I made are on hold in terms of release as a means to promote Digipops when it comes out and to gather people to the platform. So I am editing a film that I've been working on for a few years now, and it's I don't know when it's going to come out. Maybe another year or two, or I don't know.
When it comes out, can we interview you for
That'd be
Digipops?
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Totally, man.
It'll be a good one, we promise.
No doubt about that, man. I'm so
Deal. Let's shake on it. Let's
all
shake
right,
on
man. Be good, man. Oh, I know he's
it.
like Guys, thank you so much. Play it forward. We'll be back. We'll see you guys again. You guys, the truth, the truth will set us
Thank you,
free.
man.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you,
Thank
dude. Thank
you.
you very much again for everything.
It was a pleasure, guys. You guys are beautiful. Love you guys. Bye.
Love you too,
You.
man. Later.